Welcome to the, well, slightly damaged city of Waterside. If you watched the previous part, you will understand why the city's looking a little bit beaten up at the moment, in the sense that I went to unlock 3 buildings, which I can't remember offhand what they were. I think one of them was the cathedral here and there, which required me, one, to damage the health of the population, and the other to have 2,000 derelict buildings. I'm just going to speed the game up because we're going into a night cycle, and I'm just going to talk about things here. You can see there's still lots of problems in the city. It's still rebuilding, and there's lots of gaps. You can just see, if you look here, there's lots of things. There's zero demand for everything, but that's because, as you can see here, the city's slowly growing backwards and back out there. So as we run through the night cycle, I'm just going to talk about what I did. In fact, what I'm going to do is actually give a couple of top tips, 3 top tips for if you want to unlock buildings that require you to damage the city. And the first one, above all, if you don't do anything else before you embark on damaging your city, is make a save game, because things can go wrong very, very quickly, and when they go wrong, your city will implode like mine did when it gets to a certain critical mass. Everything seems to be going really well. The whole city just seems to collapse inwards. So that's the first top tip. The second top tip is build up plenty of money. And I mean plenty of money. I think when I started it, I can't remember offhand, but I had about 7 million euros, whatever they call this stuff here. And by the time I'd got the city back under control, I was down. I was virtually bankrupt. I think I had about less than 200,000 left, and the population had gone down to about 1,000. So, and it's taken me 2-3 hours of gameplay to get back to this position. And the third tip is, if you're going to mess around with abandoned buildings, get this mod available. Don't use it when you're actually creating the abandoned buildings, but as soon as you want to rebuild the city, enable it, get it to auto demolish the abandoned buildings, because one, it is incredibly tedious to actually go around and delete them all. Also, because demolished buildings actually really drop your land value down considerably. So, and that just keeps the whole city spiraling down. And the other thing is also that even if you want to delete them manually, new buildings are going abandoned all the time. You think you've cleared an area and they've come back. So basically you need something that will keep removing abandoned buildings as they appear to go there, and it is quite stressful. And the other thing also, which isn't really a top tip but something you need to be aware of, is your power distribution, because you can see here that the city even now has still got a few gaps in it. I've had to put extra power lines in to plug those gaps and all that. So at one point I had a complete disconnect across the centre of the city down through here. Hence the 3 sets of power line bridges, because there's still a disconnect here, but what happened is these buildings retreated and started disconnecting these parts here. So, and again, another tip is that if you've got 2 areas here, actually put the power grid between 2 permanent buildings. So if you can see here, this side you've got a Japanese garden, this side you've got a high school. So basically you won't get the zoned buildings disappearing. That link remains strong. Now I've got a traffic problem, but that's because what's happening is I've got a large influx of new people moving in all the time, because the city's growing. You can see it's kind of fluctuating up and down, so that's causing traffic problems, but I'm not going to try and manage them, because eventually they will sort themselves out over time. And I think that's about it for this part, and we're just getting back to daylight, which is what I've been talking myself through, because I mean, I can't really embark on any major expansion at the moment, because I just got to let the city slowly grow back, revitalise itself, getting a little bit of demand for industry. and water availability is dropping again because the city's going, but I've still got, because I had to turn off a lot of my services, part one to save, purely and simply to save money. So you can see the water availability here is off there, but I'm going to be doing something there. We've got a cemetery here. Oops, don't want to do that. I'm kind of going to look to see whether do I need a cemetery somewhere else that could be quite useful. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is, because I must admit, this is very much a personal preference, is I do not like just destroying buildings for the sake of destroying them. I mean, I much prefer to reuse them, like in this situation here. I think we'll just drop the cemetery there. That will give a positive effect over here, and I'll stop it emptying, and then that can start to work on the health over here. Now, what I'm actually going to do in this part, and I'm going to have to pause the game to do this, is I want to work on this area here, which means I've got to kind of rework, do some preparation work first, kind of sort things out. Because what I want to do is, again, this is something I took advantage of destroying the city, is I've actually put some of the distinct buildings in, like I've put the cathedral there. I took advantage of the spaces, and there's something I failed to take advantage of, and that's putting I'll just put it there, put a footpath in there, and maybe we'll put another one across here. That just gives a few connections through, and I also put in over here somewhere, where are you? I put in the town hall, and another thing I actually did is I actually got another mod. This is the improved details mod that gives you more information about what the requirements and what the issues are with individual sites, which is very useful when you're just trying to get the city back together. Building's on fire, but that's okay. So we've got that bit there, and what I'm going to do first is, sorry I keep digressing, not degressing, is I'm just going to switch this on, yeah, because that's what I thought this was. And what I'm going to do is upgrade this road to 2 ways. I'm going to leave this one way at the moment, and as I say, what I'm going to do is push through a main road through here, which means I'm going to have to do some changes around here, and what I'm going to do is get rid of this pedestrian link, but I'm not going to, and what I'm actually going to do is, oops, I must have deleted the road here by accident. Interesting. Probably when I was deleting buildings, so I think we're going to put in a link there, and I think maybe what we'll do is take that out there and delete that road there, leave the footpath in, just check the zoning here. Yeah, the zoning's okay, because what I'm going to do now is take out this road here, and what I'm looking at is to put one of my one-way roads through here. We're going to have a roundabout probably out about here, and so the idea is to, hopefully we'll be able to do this with highways, but if not, we're just going to have to kind of, actually I'm going to do this with one-way roads to start with, because I must put spaced apart. So I think that's roughly in the centre. So what I'm going to do is, I want you to come off like on a kind of a curve. Now I think we're going to come up like that. do this in steps, I think. Because it's not going to let me. I'm going to have to do it in one-way road there, so that roughly halfway across, and maybe just up like that. And I think maybe if we start about there and come back the other way, just maybe widen the road out a little bit. Come on, buggering about. And then go to a curve there. Just want to curve this in here. And the idea is this is going to fly over this bit here, and hopefully there will be enough width here to upgrade these roads. This is a quick check because I do want this really to be a highway feeding into the city. Yep, I think this is going to work. I'm kind of making this up a little bit on the fly at the moment, guys. So we've got this over here, and what I'm going to do now is, you guessed it, you've guessed it, we're going to build a roundabout. What I'm going to do is put one in. I think if we come up here roughly about to about there, come back, I think we're going to go 160. Hopefully there'll be enough place here to do a reasonable connection. But yeah, it should work. And we're just going to connect around here like this. I mean, we can fudge this connection down the bottom here if necessary. And we're just going to come connect like that. And what we're going to do now, hopefully this is going to work. Just gonna, if we can get in here. Suppose I could use that new, should have used that new tool here. It's going to connect up like that. And this will give us a kind of a highway interchange over here, which will feed the traffic down into here. Now, I'm going to see if I can get a one-way feed off of here. I'm going to use this here. Nope, that's no good. This gives a sharp angle there, but I think we can live with that. And that will basically feed into this area here. Now I'm going to do the same on this side. But I'm not going to come off here because that's going to be a bit close. So what I'm actually going to do is come back here and bring a road out about that far, come down about that far. I'm wanting to leave a gap here because we're going to take another, that kind of creates an access into this area here. And now this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky because we're going to have to go a little bit freestyle. What I want to do is kind of come off, no, I want to kind of an angle like that, and just bring the road up like that. I want to kind of, maybe we won't need a, like I just take the snapping off. Yep, it's going to come in like that, and And just come up like that. Obviously we've just broken the power lines, but I can live with that. Just going to reverse the direction of the road there. And now of course we've got collision up here, so what have we got here? This is a police station. Well, do we need police coverage? Where can we put in some better police coverage? Where do we need to? Oh, we don't really have a lot of police coverage here, so maybe we'll let you actually put you on a two-way road to make you more effective. And what I'm going to do now is delete all this here. Sorry for the banging noises. And you guessed it, what we're going to have up here is another roundabout. Maybe I should have a new channel called the Home of the Roundabout King. So I'm going to come out about, I think maybe we'll start this way and come back 160. No snapping, that explains the problem I had. I'm going to come 160 here. I think what I'm going to do is just go back to that and just let the game run slowly now. I think we're at a point now where I don't really need the game paused, and that will keep everybody, all my residents, happy. It's gonna, and what we're going to do now is, obviously I've come up this way a little bit too far with this stuff here, so, and of course I've cut the power line, so we better check that to make sure everything's okay. Oh, that's got a link that way anyway, so that's fine. What we're going to do now is see if we can, going to go 3-star again. Nope. Bring you in here. Not happy with that. I mean, sometimes you've got to do this. You've got to redo the tangents, because that's the way when you draw roads, this is the way the tangents are actually calculated. I'm gonna kind of bring that way there, and I think I could probably upgrade that through as a motorway eventually. That's why I'm deliberately kind of keeping them apart. What we're going to do now is just come across here. Maybe we can get a bit more of a curve in. Oh, it's breaking like that, so oh well, we're just going to have to come this way. Kind of reciprocate that back that way. It's, well, it's going to be wide enough anyway to. So we've now got our first link over here, and guess what? There'll be a roundabout over here eventually. But what we're going to do is, oops, I don't know why I paused it again. Again, what we're going to do is come in here. Come in nice and straight. Sometimes when you change it on the fly, it maybe a smidge closer, and then we're going to guess it. Gonna probably have to take this out. I do like these angled connections like this, because if you put a square junction there, the traffic has to slow down. So you just pick it up, pace up a little bit. So we've now got the traffic flowing through here. Got the space here for, so I can bring this in here and this in this side. but because this will now take some of the flow round to there, and I think we can so that space is already occupied. So what's this? Another police station. I must have had a police station fixation here. I think we're going to move you up to about on this junction here. I know, I must admit, when I was actually trying to pull the city back together, I was moving bits and pieces around. You know, like to... I think what we can do is bring you out this way. Maybe come up this way a bit. See if we can just snick this off here, and maybe we can go freestyle again. That's probably a bit... Nope, don't like that. I want an angle that will let the traffic off. Maybe just like that, and maybe we can bring you back in that way. I think what we can do actually is just reverse that direction there, give the bit of access there. I don't think we've got any power problems, so I can take this out. Oh, what's this? Granite Works. Oh. I thought I'd done this. I think we need to... I want clean industry up here, so I'm going to take out the... We don't need Holly Park anymore. So what I want here is kind of some nice, neat, clean tree industry, just act as a job for people. What we're going to do is maybe just drive this through, because I want this highway to be open access. Because I want my trucks coming down here. Got a little bit of a jam there, but I think that would be okay. I think once the traffic starts to sort itself out, and of course there's always the option to strike off an overpass down across here. And of course as demand picks up, we can push some industry out that way, just to keep the city running nicely. What we're just going to do now is build the next roundabout. There's always something to do. Actually, let's have a quick look around the city as the darkness falls. And you can see this probably illustrates the point quite graphically, in the sense that you can see all the gaps here, which is pretty good considering the fact that this was all built up and they had a population just over 70,000. Now I've got lots of gaps and I've got a population of 60,000. Let's turn that off. I don't think we need that just now. Got a bit of a garbage issue, but I think that's going to go away. Got water availability, but what I want to do actually is I'm going to pick you up. What I want to do is move some of this water capability over here, because one of the things I actually learnt from my kind of example of is that if you have all these together, you don't get a nice distribution across the city. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm over this side of the city, I think I'm probably going to get a slight disruption to that should pick it back up again. And I'm not going to use this space because we're right next to the airport, which is noisy. You see here, see the noise pollution on this part here. So there's not much point building any buildings or anything residential here. So we've just got this area here. I'll just wait for the daylight to come back and we can start to develop this area. And you can see the city's getting quite interesting. It's still growing. As I say, the commercials come back really strongly. If you kind of zoom in, you can see looks really good. I say the commercial actually came back strongest of all, followed by industry. As I say, if we come back over here, kind of zoom in, it's a bit dark and dingy, bit touch of the satanic mills about this place, but you can see the industries come back pretty quickly on here, but I think it's going to be quite some time before we're going to have any real need for more residential, because I think what actually happens is that the building gets built, then it upgrades, because you can see these are maximum upgrade, and then they fill up the population, and it's only when all these buildings have reached maximum upgrade that you actually then start for them to fill in the gaps. I think that's the way it works. But you can see we've still got problems here, not enough customers, because the city was originally built for 70,000 people. So but it's coming along quite nicely. I quite really like the city. I hope you guys like it as well. And I think the traffic's starting to sort itself out. As I say, if push comes to shove, we can move these roads around, create a relief road here. At some point in the future, I will have to use the traffic manager. And yeah, there's a mod called Traffic Manager which gives you a lot more detail about where the traffic's actually going. So, and of course eventually this will become more of a residential area here. This will grow out as the demand for industry picks up. We're filling this area here, so we'll see actually this just fill in a bit more industry here just to kind of get my farming. I must admit, I do like I mean, I know some guys build cities and as soon as it gets going, they start to build offices and they don't build any other industry. But I like my industry. I like my specialised industry as well, to be honest. You know, I like the idea of having, you know, little patches of specialisation like farming. The farming looks really good. I mean, you know, as I say, I know some guys will say, "Ah, well, it's naff," but I actually like it. You know, you get the lowing goat cheese factory. You know, so it's and this one, the Dude Ranch. God knows what a Dude Ranch is. I presume it's the laughing goat cheese factory, but there's nothing there. But I presume it's invisible produce. Right, so we've now got daylight back, so let's get back across the city to spin it round. I'm just going to make another connection here. So again, just going to come here. Probably going to go, I think let's have a nice, pretty big roundabout here, I think. Because I've just had an idea and I think it might look good. So let's go for something that's pretty big. Keep on forgetting that. I'm going to come out here. And of course that port, we can start to bring that port back online eventually, because I'm pretty sure there's a building that requires, just gonna come in here, give you a nice connection there. And you don't want to play ball, so you're going to have to come back this way. Sometimes it pays to come into the roundabout rather than about. Now, what I'm looking at is we've got this kind of nice enclave up there. So what I'm thinking is I've been trying to think of somewhere. Where are you? You're here somewhere, the Bandenberg Gate. So I'm kind of thinking and I think what we're going to do is is that two-way? Yep, two-way with trees. Gonna come out. I think that might work. Just gonna snick that off. That fit in. Now I want to try and get this as central as possible. It's gonna have to go with that, I think. And then what we're gonna do is upgrade that. And this may seem a bit odd having a road within a roundabout, but what's that, one way or two way? One way. And what we'll do is come on. Oh, don't do this to me, please. It's not going to do it. Okay, we'll just have to do it that way then. Nope. Okay, we'll take that off, and we'll go like that. And you're going to go like that. And what I'm going to do is kind of fake a road going this way. Because oh, it's not going to let me, is it? Baka. No, because I don't want. Actually, well, let's just do it for the fun of it. Because I don't think traffic will want to go. No, we better not do that. Sorry, guys, it's not going to have the total effect that I wanted. What we're going to do is, obviously, we've got to run some water in. I think we're just going to come off the usual 440. Just come out this way. I think we've altered the orientation slightly, but we're just going to have to live with that. And we're going to come out 440 again. Unclick, we'll have a click. We're just going to come this way. Just going to have to find the power cables now. I have to have a few unsightly power cables at the moment just to... Oh, it's not going to connect, is it? Yes, it will. Oh, which is that? A flash of lightning. And it's actually very opportunely made it nice and dark. I mean, it's not as symmetrical. Oh, I don't know. And I think what we're going to do now is just drop some trees, if I can find them, because they keep hiding from me. I don't want great big trees around here. I want them. Oh, maybe we'll have a few kind of fairly large trees around the outside like this. But I don't want them to come totally behind. How big are these? These help. Kind of mix a few of these in as well. Because I mean, the Brandenburg Gate is a gate. I think that's the thing you need to think about. So it should be acting as a gateway to the city from this side. I know it's not the main gateway, but I think that'll look good. And eventually, as the city grows out across the city and it's dark, and you can see here we've got the nice kind of tourist area working, and the city's still growing. We've got a very, very tiny amount of industry, but I think we can just fix that by filling in a little bit of this stuff here. Let's just check the zoning's good. Maybe take it back a smidge more. Thank you, Lightning, for illuminating that. What I will probably do is expand this forest area down into here and just keep this here and then bring the commercial up here. Actually, let's check this commercial zone. I think, what is Valley Park? Oh, it's Valley Park. What are you? Do you have any? You've got no specializations, right? That's good, because I think what we can do now is just pick up Valley Park and expand you up this way, but not through here. Thank you, Lightning. I don't know if it's me, but I see I have a lot of lightning storms in this game. Mind you, we just had quite a really bad... I mean, I'm recording this on the Easter weekend, and if you lived in the UK, you will probably be aware that it hasn't been the most pleasant of Easter weekends. We had a very bad storm swept in overnight. Well, I think there was a lot of damage. My next door neighbour lost his fence, and somebody else lost the door off their garage, where the wind kind of opened the garage and then it was swinging backwards and forwards, and eventually it just got smashed off its hinges. There's a little bit of damage. Luckily, touch wood, I've been okay. As far as I can see, I went out and got me binoculars out and checked the roof to make sure that the roof was still on. May seem silly, guys, but if you start to lose one tile, eventually you start to lose other tiles. And why am I talking about wind damage in real life when I'm just fiddling around looking at the city here? So the city's looking good, it's growing. I'm going to have to put some lot more effort into kind of just check the education. Oh, that's another thing I actually took advantage of, is if I click the high school, this area died. So actually what I did is I dropped a high school right smack bang into what was once residential, and that's actually kind of improved. Elementary school, I think maybe we've got scope here for another elementary, probably just tucked in on this corner here. So that's another advantage of devastating your city, is the fact that you can actually do it. Just going to check the budgets now, because I did drop all these budgets down very, very low. So I think we can now start to bring them back up again. So maybe we're going to get a bit more air transport in. It's going to bring the trains back up again. And of course the road maintenance, I haven't checked that for a little while. Just kind of bring the budgets back up again. And so I had to quite literally slash them all in order to do it. I'm just going to check taxes. Yep, I did reset the taxes. Didn't actually need any loans. I was starting to think I might, but I actually got away with it by the skin of my teeth. We've now got this port here. I don't know if we got any distinct buildings. Let's have a quick flip through, see what we've got left to do, distinct buildings, and then that's probably where I'm going to end it. So most of these relate to areas, see like 30,000, we've got a long way to go yet. 15,000 children in schools. Got this Grand Central Station to put in somewhere, that could be fun. Need 2 instances of airport, well yeah, that should be quite straightforward. Need 600 service buildings. Gherkin, we need 2 instances of harbour. Let's go to the hub of the financial system. So is that actually... is this one then? So do I have to have 2 instances of harbour? I actually would need another harbour over here to get the Gherkin, which is... I'm going to spark a little bit of controversy, which I think is a really weird building, to be honest. So we've got a bit of abandoned there, but you can see the old auto demolishers working quite well. Got a bit of a traffic jam here, which could be a problem. Just causing a little bit of a tailback here. I think what I might actually do is just come in here and dezone these. This zone that. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and dezone you there, and dezone you there, just so that the traffic doesn't flow. We've got lots of buses queuing up here for some reason. I think that's because there's traffic coming up here. These buses glitched out. Seem to... oh, maybe I've buggered the bus route up. Looks like I've caused a problem here with the bus route. Not sure why all those buses are all lined up there, because the bus route says it's working. I think maybe we're... come here, delete this bus route. Might have to delete that bus route and redo it, I think, because it seems to... all the buses seem to have got stuck here. Just gonna make just a quick check. See if there's not the one. Oh no, they've moved. Obviously that bus has woken up again. I can probably put the bus stop back in again. I think I'm going to need some work on this area because my city is clogging up. I think that's to do probably with the fact that we're getting lots and lots of new residents coming in. Let's just see if we can do something about this. It's going to... see if we can come up one. Yeah, I think we can do something about this now. So I think if we... sorry guys. And I think if we can... oops, a daisy, didn't mean to do that. I mean, it's... probably take the snapping off. And we'll take you through to there. And of course we're going to have to reverse the direction. See if that will actually improve things. That. See, I think this one works because the traffic's flowing off and it just flows away. I think this is a difference. This is a good example of the differences in the sense that this one works because the traffic flows away although there's an issue there. This one is they're all trying to merge into this one area here and kind of go round. So I think I might have to get a bit creative there, because obviously this is tailing back. Anyway, I think I've rambled on probably a lot longer than I intended to do in this part. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope you found it interesting, and above all, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.